welcome back to my channel. It's literally midnight. I have my May wrap up coming out next week, so stay tuned for that. This is going to be my June TBR. Normally these would be one video, but it's like 3 days until the end of the month. It's midnight, and I really sort of don't want to be talking for that long because I still have to edit this video. So I've just decided to do this as my June TBR because guess what? It's my channel. I'm trying to stay consistent, so I still want to upload this video today. So without further ado, I think I've accidentally categorized these into my fantasy and my romance. So on that note, in no particular order really, the first book I want to read this month in June. Now, I'm not forcing myself to read all of these, okay? Like, this is just so I've got options. Like, I've got a mixed variety here. You'll see. We've got Broken Throne by Victoria Aveyard, because this is the only book in the Red Queen series that I haven't read, and it's just a fuck ton of little novellas. And I'm trying to like wrap up series that I've started. So we have Broken Throne. I don't even know what the hell this thing is about. Saint by Adrian Young, which I think is the prequel to Fable and Namesake, and I really love those books. So once again, I'm also trying to finish series as I've started. So we've got Saint, because it's a part of that series. I'm assuming I've heard. I have no idea what it's about. We going in blind, but it's okay. If you want more details on books, I do have more coming that I will go into detail, I swear. But like half of these, I'm like, it's a book in a series that I've read, so it needs to be read. We have A Court of Frost and Starlight. It's the only ACOTAR book I haven't read, which you wouldn't believe considering it's literally just so thin. But I really want to read this. I kind of want to get the dramatized version and listen to that. So that might be the plan. This is just literally Feyre's first winter solstice as a high lady. And it's got the inner circle, so it's guaranteed to be a shit show. And what fun. The next up we have The Undermining of Twyla and Frank. I was under the impression that this is kind of sort of similar to Divine Rivals. That's what I was under the impression of, but let me get my facts straight. No, that's not the one I wanted. I picked this up because I think it was recommended to me because someone at a bookstore was like, I think someone told me that this is kind of similar to Divine Rivals, and it intrigued me. So I'll keep this on my TBR. I have no idea what it's about. There's dragons. It's two friends working together. Nefarious plot. Mine shaft. Sounds intriguing. I'll put it on the TBR, but this isn't the book I was thinking it was. This is the book I was thinking of. We have What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. I swear I'm getting that wrong. This one, I did research when I finished Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows, because I absolutely loved how it was written and like the letters and the love story and like all of that. I wanted something so similar to that, but I just didn't like not a reread. So I was like, I need recommendations. So I Googled, as one does, Google. And I discovered this one because they were released at the same time. And they both blew up. I just read the back of this. Hold on. Let me just read this to you. Because, oh my god, I'm going to be stumbling over my words. This isn't going to be aesthetic at all, okay? In glittering Buenos Aires, Inez Oliveira has everything except the one thing she really wants, her parents, who frequently leave her behind on their globe-trotting adventures. Then she receives a letter. Her parents have died in mysterious circumstances. Determined to uncover the truth, she sets sail for their last port of call, Cairo, Egypt, bringing only her sketch pads and a ring her father sent to her for safekeeping. But upon her arrival, the ring flares up with ancient magic, and Inez is thrust into a treacherous game, and into the path of her new guardian's handsome assistant, who seems determined to thwart her at every turn. And then underneath it, it's like compares it to what it's like similar to. The Mummy meets Death on the Nile in this lush historical fantasy set in the 19th century Egypt, filled with adventure, lovers to lovers romance, and a dangerous race. I really want to read this now. Then we have The Dark Tide by Alicia Jasinska. I really hope I said that right. I actually started this one at the start of the year. The first page really intrigued me because the first 2 lines is, "It'll be fine, she won't pick me. Of course not, she only takes the pretty ones." And that had me like, ooh. And then I just didn't continue it. I had 2 other books at the time. I had a book going on my audiobook, and then I had a book going on my Kindle. I just put it down and didn't pick it back up. It just wasn't the right time. I'm so sorry for all the people I'm triggering with yawns. I'm sincerely apologizing. I'm going to try and cut most of them out. But, you know what? I think we have a good thing going with me just reading the backs of these, okay? Lena Kirk is convinced her brother is going to be taken this year. To save him, she enlists the help of a mysterious Thomas Lynn, the boy she secretly loves, and the only person ever to escape from the palace. But they draw the Queen's attention, and Thomas is chosen as the sacrifice. Queen Ava cast away her heart when her sister died for the boy she loved. Now as queen, she won't make the same mistake. She's willing to sacrifice anyone if it means saving the city. When Lena offers herself in exchange for Thomas's freedom, the 2 girls await the full moon together. But Lena is not at all what Ava expected, and the Queen is nothing like Lena envisioned. As waters flood Caldella's streets and the dark tide demands its sacrifice, they must choose who to save, themselves, each other, or the island city relying on them both. So yeah, intrigued. Now, this will spoil what books I didn't read last month, because this book was in fact on my TBR. But we have once again got Strictly Romance. Now, here's the thing. I remember what the dance show is called this time. It's Dancing with the Stars. Okay. So, Strictly Romance is by Louisa West. And it follows this ice hockey player who has been, what's the word? Banned from the game, I think, until he can get his reputation back in order. So to do that, he's forced to go on Dancing with the Stars, and then I think he falls in love with his dance partner. Yeah, I can't wait to read that. Then, if you watched my reading for 24 hours video, you'll know I finished Hot House Flower last month. If you watched my reading for 24 hours video, you'll recognize a few of these books probably, because I didn't end up reading it in that. I didn't read a lot of books in that. It's The Things We Water by Mariana Zapata. The Things We Water by Mariana Zapata. This is literally the only Mariana Zapata book I haven't read. There's one of Mariana Zapata's books that I don't own, simply because I refuse to have that thing on my shelf. Love her. Mariana Zapata, if you don't know, is the slow burn queen. Every single one of her books is a slow burn, but she does it so well that they don't feel the same ever, because they've all got different plot lines, obviously. But with most Mariana Zapata books, you get a glimpse into each of her books, like in it. For example, because I'm really not explaining that correctly, in Colty, which is a soccer one, there is a moment where the MMC goes to a tattoo parlor while they're going on a road trip to go back to the FMC's home state. He goes to a tattoo parlor. That tattoo parlor is the tattoo parlor that is owned by the MMC in Underlog. And you have the FMC and the MMC and all the characters that are in that book there. And the FMC is the cousin to the FMC that's in From Lukov with Love. So they're like all connected, like so intricately, and you get like little flashes of a moment. So you have to read her books. Generally, you should read her books in a certain order so you can get like the best experience, but you don't have to. But you appreciate it more when you can appreciate those little moments. Now, this one isn't set in the same world. I don't even think it's set in the same world as her like other book that's not set in the same world as all of it, because it's paranormal. But it's set on a farm in Colorado, and there's magical creatures, and she falls for her cousin's best friend. So her best friend's cousin. So you know what? I fear I would eat this shit up, as I do every time. I finally last month read Hot House Flower by Kristen Becker-Ritchie, so I can finally move on to the next book in the Addicted series. Because with Kristen Becker-Ritchie's Addicted and Calloway Sisters, and even the Cobalt Empire, they're all like a part of the same like families, and they're all connected. So with Addicted and the Calloway Sisters series, she's now considered them on her website an official like one series, but on Goodreads they're still two separate series. But so you have to read them in like a specific order. You don't have to. It's recommended that you read them in a specific order. So you read Addicted to You, Ricochet, Addicted for Now. That's the first three in the Addicted series. Then you hit pause and you move on to Calloway Sisters, which starts with Kiss the Sky and then goes on to Hot House Flower, which is the first two in the Calloway Sisters series. And you move back to the Addicted series, which is Thrive and Addicted After All. That's the final two. Then you move back to the Calloway Sisters series, which is Fuel the Fire, Long Way Down, and Some Kind of Perfect. And that's the end of that. And then after that, you have the Cobalt Empire, which, if I'm fairly certain, follows the children of Rose and Connor Cobalt, which is one of the sisters. And it follows their kids. I'm fairly certain. Don't quote me on that because I haven't gotten there yet, obviously. But it's taken me a minute to read Hot House Flower because of the age gap in them and how old they were when they met. It just icked me, but now I'm obsessed and in love with them, so it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so since I finished that, I can finally continue on with the Addicted series, and I'm adding Thrive, and maybe even Addicted for Now, but we'll see, because there's a lot that happens in this book. I just can't wait. I can't wait. From where Hot House Flower left off, I'm fairly certain it'll pick up like immediately, maybe a month later, and I'm just so excited to continue, because there's a lot of shit, like there's a lot that happens in these series, okay? There's a lot. Like, the main series follows Lily and Lo. Lo is an alcoholic trying to recover from being an alcoholic, and Lily, his girlfriend slash fiance, is a sex addict, and they for years were both encouraging each other, like we're helping each other get with their addictions, to the point so now they're helping each other out of the addictions and like standing back behind each other. And then you've got Rose. Rose has extreme OCD, and she's in a relationship with Connor, but they're both fucking geniuses. Like, they're both super freaking smart. And then you've got Daisy, who became a model at the age of 14. She's had to grow up in the public's eye. So it's all, like, all of them have their own shit going on, which makes it so realistic. But there's so much actual trauma and everything in this that there'd be, like, you need to read the trigger warnings. They don't include the trigger warnings in this, but yeah, like, seriously, like, it doesn't include it, but you should really read the trigger warnings before you even get into this series. Treat it like a dark romance. It's not a dark romance, but it really kind of sort of is. On the topic of dark romances, and on the topic of finishing series as I've started, the last book in the Maid series. It is the Maid series. We have the last book in the Maid series. I devoured the first one. It took me a minute to read the second one and get through the second one. But I've heard amazing things about the third one, and it's the darkest. So sign me up. I actually have no idea what it even is about. So let's do what we've been doing and read the back together. A fortune teller once told Mila she'd find a man who would take her breath away. She refrained from telling her it would be literally, while Mila ran for her life. Having always done what is expected of her, Mila dresses the part, only dates college boys with exemplary backgrounds, and doesn't ask questions. Not about her papa's absence or his refusal to let her set foot in her birthplace, Russia. Suffocated by the rules and unanswered questions, Mila does what she always wanted to do. She boards a plane to Moscow. I want to as well, actually. She never expected to fall for a man on the way. One with unexplained wealth, tattoos on his hands, and secrets in his eyes. But it doesn't take long for his caress to become a rough grasp, muffling her screams. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Unfortunately, a Russian winter is the coldest of them all, and Mila soon learns that the only way to escape intact is to do the impossible and thaw her captor's heart. It's just like a really dark. I can't wait. Let's see how long it takes me to read that. Here's the thing, I really just want to pick up What the River Knows now, but it's literally the 29th of May, and I should probably start filming my reading vlog for the score, which is Dean and Ali's book. So yes, I will be turning the score into a reading vlog. I've decided I'm going to be releasing a reading vlog every month. So my current plan is to read and annotate all of the off-campus and Briar U books in the new covers. I have like the girl on the cover ones, but this will give me an excuse to buy the new covers, you know, like, let a girl treat herself. So I will be actually doing a reading vlog for this one, and then I think the next one I'm going to read is going to be Logan's. I really just wanted to read Dean and Ali's, because if I were to read it in order, it would be Garrett, which I've already read. Go watch that reading vlog if you haven't. It would be Garrett, and then Logan, and then Dean, and then Tucker. And here's the thing about Dean and Tucker's books. There's something that happens in both of them that has you emotionally wrecked. And I just don't want to put myself through that back to back, you know? I shouldn't have to. I'm not going to. So we've got the score. and then we've got, and then I'm going to read The Mistake, and then I'm going to read The Goal, and then I'm going to read the next books in the Briar series, and then at the end of the whole thing, I'll read The Legacy. Yeah. Yeah. I've got to edit this video. Sorry if I didn't go into too much detail on like half of these books. I'm delirious and I don't even know what the fuck I said. I was talking out of my ass for like half of this. Just about to fall asleep, honestly. And I need to edit this, make a cover, and like all of that fun stuff. But yeah, it was nice talking to you. I'll see you next week with the May wrap up. We've got the mini microphone out because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm trying to give more energy. But I don't know how to do that when half of my videos get filmed at midnight and I'm exhausted. So we've got the tiny microphone to give more volume, and I can't give more energy. So this way I can quietly give more energy, you know, like I'm doing right now. Anyway, I'm gonna need to not play with my hair. It doesn't look right. Anyways, hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, all the good stuff. This is my May wrap up. I know. Normally this is my May wrap up and my June TBR. But in case you missed it, last week we did the June TBR. So that means this week we're just doing the wrap up. Hooray. This doesn't take me an hour. Will it probably take me an hour? Yeah. And I'm gonna have to cut out like 500 Yeah. Welcome to my May wrap up. We did a lot. We did a lot. We did something. So I read 13 last month. And out of those 13 books, 10 of them I physically own. Now, am I only holding 9 right now? Yeah, I am. Because I got my laptop with all the information. There go. Cool. Give me a second while we organize my books. Give me a second. Cool. So, the first book, this was an audiobook. The first book I read or finished, I think, this month was In Her Own League by Liz Tomfloy. I'm sorry. Obsessed. In Her Own League follows Monty and Reese. Now, if you've read the Windy City series, as you should have, by the way, you'll have met Monty in the third book in the series, which follows Kai. Miller. And this is why these videos take an hour. You'll have met Monty in Miller and Kai's book, which is the third one in the Windy City series. Read it. He is the coach of the Windy City. Okay, we're not even going to try and play the game of what the fuck is the team called because I'm not sitting here looking for it. He is a team of the baseball team he is the He is the coach of the baseball team in the Windy City series. And Reese, who is the new owner and first female owner of a sports team in, and they're the two main characters. I feel like I explained that really badly. It's a sports romance. It's fake, no, not fake dating. Secret dating. He has her back every single time that a man says something misogynistic. Not that she needs it, because she's an independent woman who can defend herself, and she can and will defend herself. And Monty will sit back and let her defend herself because he knows she wants to defend herself. It's so cute. I love it. I'm actually, I don't think I told you what I rated this. 5 stars. 5 stars. Like, oh my god. I love it. And the thing is, if you just want to read this and not read the Windy City series, you can. Like, you absolutely can. Because, yes, this has some of the Windy City boys in it. Doesn't mean you have to read it, because it's not even like technically a part of the Windy City series. It's a spin-off. It says it up here. Windy City series spin-off. I'm just saying, if you haven't picked up a single Liz Tomfoolery book, this might be the one. Okay. I only have 2 of her books, I think, that I haven't read, which is Becoming Selfless and Staying Becoming Selfish and Staying Selfless. Yeah. Anyway, Inherent League, Liz Tomfoolery. Read it. 5 stars. I love. And then I finished that on my audiobook and moved on to another one because obviously. Next up is The Dixon Rule by L. Kennedy. Honestly, low-key, this month was kind of L. Kennedy's month on mine because I've kids. And I've been talking nonstop about it to the point my lash tech has watched it now because I was giving her the whole rundown of the series, like the book series, and we were talking about it today while I was getting my lashes done. Anyway, The Dixon Rule by L. Kennedy, which follows. I have it all written down on my piece of paper, which follows Diana and Shane. Diana, now this is a part of the Campus Diary series by L. Kennedy, which is a spin-off of the Briar U series and Off Campus series. It's recommended that you read them, but you don't need to. I have. You don't have to. If you just want to dive into these, you can just dive into these. This is the second book in the series. The first one is The Graham Effect. The 2 main characters are best friends individually with the main characters from The Graham Effect. For example, Diana is best friends with Gigi. And Gigi's boyfriend is best friends with Shane because they're on the same ice hockey team. So cool. They actually end up fake dating, and they take part in this ballroom dancing competition. He's trying to make his ex-girlfriend jealous, as you do in these fake dating ones. Trying to make his ex-girlfriend jealous, and she's trying to trying to stop her ex from stalking her. So they go into a fake relationship, and then they both take part. Then they take part in a ballroom dancing competition because Shane's ex-girlfriend also was taking part in it, and they talked about it while they were trying to make her jealous. Because get this right, we serious, okay? This pissed me the fuck off, okay? Not this book, but this situation. He calls his ex. Cool, fine. Not the smartest decision, but whatever. That's not the problem here. calls his ex. She answers. They're talking, everything's fine. She brings up that she wants to move schools. She's currently going to a dance specific school. I think it was Juilliard or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But she goes to a dance specific school that's designed specifically for dancers. She's like, I don't really want to do this because it's just dancing. And I heard that the school you're going to, Briar, has a really good dance program. And I'm coming to check out the school. Do you mind if I stay with you? Don't get why you're trying to be friends with an ex, but whatever. Whatever. Chill. No problem. Go for it. Absolutely. He says yes. She rolls up and is sending him updates and messages and is like telling him that they, as in multiple people, should be there by around a certain time. And he's like, they? Maybe she's bringing another one of our friends. Which, even if she were, that'd be sketchy as fuck. Why are you bringing some other person to a place that's not even like yours? And on the phone call he told her like how he only has one bedroom in this apartment, which means one bed, and then whoever else was going to be sleeping on the couch, he assumed they're gonna whatever, not gonna happen. So one of them was going to be sleeping on the couch, one of them was going to be sleeping on the bed. Cool, chill, fine. I think we can all make the assumption who would have been sleeping on the couch. She rolls up with a new boyfriend. What the fuck? One, how is your new boyfriend okay with you staying at your ex's place? That's probably why he tagged along. Two, don't you think that's something that needs to be mentioned to someone before you just roll up with an extra person? Because now you've kicked the man out of his fucking bedroom in his goddamn apartment. How does that make sense and how is that fair? What the fuck? That pissed me off. That pissed me off so bad. But aside from that, that's like the main reason why I Loki. And we're back. This tiny microphone betrayed me last night. Okay, I recorded that whole video, and it died when I was still talking about the Dixon rule. I watched the video back. I remember I know I was ranting, so I'm just gonna tell you what I rated it, and we're gonna move on to the deal because I have work in an hour. Well, I have to leave for work in an hour. The Dixon Rule by L. Kennedy. I rated it 4.5 stars. The previous moment for why it pissed me off. Like, I love the characters and like really traumatic shit happens and like it's so sad at the end, but it pissed me off. Okay, cool. Anyway, now then I read The Deal by L. Kennedy. I'm not going to go into detail on this because I did a reading vlog for it. Okay, it follows Hannah and Garrett. Garrett is an ice hockey player. Hannah is a music major. She passes the test in a class that he's failing, and he convinces her to tutor him. And they are also fake dating to make a guy that she has a crush on jealous. Then I read Brutal Bodyguards, Filthy Puckers, and Puck Me Dead by J. Pratt, which are all on my TBR. Moment of appreciation for that. Okay. Brutal Bodyguard follows a celebrity sister who is being stalked. So she has two bodyguards and they've just hired a third one. And that third bodyguard is in a relationship with one of the other bodyguards. And she signs up for this website where you can get your kinks anonymously filled out and like all of this. Like she has a mask kink and she wants to be chased by a masked man. So she sends it for this website for that. And then the bodyguards end up being the one that does it for safety reasons, is what they convince themselves. 3 stars. Then I read Filthy Puckers. Filthy Puckers follows Layla, Knox, Riven, and Jagger. Knox, Riven, and Jagger are all on an ice hockey team, and Layla Layla's brothers are on a different ice hockey team. They are rivals. Jagger sneaks into a party, like follows her brother Layla's brothers back to a party that they're throwing, where there's Mars. Whereas Mars chases Layla, she likes it, convinces his friends to join in, and they all start chasing, and then they all catch feelings, and then she finds out it's them, and then there's a like she needs some time and space and this and that. They end up together. Puck Me Dead follows Abby, Landon, Levi, and Tate. Landon and Levi are Layla's brothers, and Tate is the coach of their hockey team. Abby is Layla's best friend, and she also used to be in a relationship with Layla's brothers, but they broke up because Layla got a butt dial from one of them while they were having intercourse with someone and just left without telling anyone. Next one, I'm also not going to go into too much detail on because, once again, like half of these I did reading vlogs for. I read King of Gluttony. King of Gluttony, I am obsessed. I loved this book so freaking much. I swear. It is King of Gluttony follows Maya and Sebastian. They're rivals from a young age. They've been rivals. He fell for her in high school or college or whatever. Fell for her when they were still in school. Sent her a love note, but she never got the note. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's my favorite in the series because I love Luke and I love Dom, but it's pretty high up there. Okay. And the next book being Killian's, I'm looking forward to that so much. So much. 5 stars. 5 whole freaking stars. It's close proximity as well. Because they have to work on a project together for their families. I love this book so freaking much, I swear. I swear. The little stacky poo in the background of all the books I've talked about. Then we've got another book that was in a reading vlog. Hothouse Flower by Kristen Becker Ritchie. Now, if you haven't read the Addicted series or the Calloway Sisters series, you really need to check the warnings and the triggers, like research them because they're not in the book. Because Hothouse Flower is a part of the Calloway Sisters series, which follows Rose and Daisy Calloway. But it's also interconnected with the Addicted series to the point that the authors have now officially just made it the Addicted, like the whole thing, the Addicted series. But the Addicted series follows Lily and Lo, and Lily is a sex addict and Lo is an alcoholic. So like there's a lot of like dark shit that goes on in these books, and but you just get so attached to these characters. Okay. On that being said, I was a little bit sketchy going into this because of the age difference. Not the age gap, but the age difference. Because this book follows Daisy and Reich. And Reich and Daisy met when Daisy was 15. And Reich was 22. When Daisy was 15 and Reich was 22. There's a 7-year age gap, which I don't have problems with. I have a problem with he met her when she was a child. And then they get in a relationship. But by the end of this book, I was actually kind of attached to them. I'm not even gonna lie. I rated it 5 stars. I was like really attached to them by the end of this book because the authors did such a good job, like with you seeing into their romance and like the way they benefited each other, that it just made sense for them to be together. Then I read The Charlie Method by Kennedy. Now, here's the thing. I listened to this as an audiobook, and I feel like if I hadn't listened to it as an audiobook, I might have enjoyed it more. Because nothing against the narrators. Well, nothing against 2 of the narrators. nothing against narrators in general, actually. There's just a few chapters where Beck. Okay, I should tell these people's names. This book follows Charlotte, Beckett, and Will. Now, Beckett, he's Australian. The narrator for him, British. Fine. He actually had a really good Australian accent. The narrator for Will, Teddy Hamilton. I've got no complaints. Um, I can't remember the chick's name, but there was a few chapters where Beckett was talking to his mum or like family on his dad or his like female family, and they all obviously had Australian accents. And the female narrator, she just can't do Australian accents, which is like no, it's not even like can't do Australian accents. She did really good at some of the Australian parts, but there was like the first time she ever does a Aussie narration in this, she pulls out the nar nar. We don't say no like that. Thank you. Nar. And it pissed me off. Okay, I'm sorry. And then after that point, every time she was speaking in an Australian accent, I was holding my breath, hoping and praying that there wouldn't be another no, because that would have been my fifth reason, I swear to God. But aside from that, this book is a why choose. And aside from that, this book is a why choose. And originally, they start off with like a friends with benefits thing because Will and Beckett only generally hook up in threesomes. It starts off as a friends with benefits thing, and then they all catch feelings, and all of a sudden they're in a relationship, and they're hiding it because it's a polyamorous relationship, and they're not sure what anyone's gonna think about it. It's amazing how quick I've gotten through these books than did last night. Oh, scratch that. I'm about to be ranting about a book. We're gonna be here for a minute, okay? I'm gonna talk about the book, and then I have a rant, okay? A rant. So I'll be putting the book down, just put a photo up. We have Richard Kemmerer's Carving Shadows into Gold. Now, this series follows the events 5 years later of the A Curse So Dark and Lonely trilogy, which I love. Love them. It's the second book in the series of the Forging Silver in the Stars series. It's the second book. It follows Tycho, who you're introduced to in The Curse So Dark and Lonely. It follows Jax, who you meet, and Callan, who you meet in this series. Cool. Callan pissed me off, but we'll get there. I rated this book 3 stars. That should say a lot, okay? Normally my ratings are like 4, maybe 3.75, like 3 stars. It's gonna be a minute until I read the third one. Because she pissed me off. I loved all of the characters except one. I like that we get to see Gray, and we get to see Liamara, and we get to see Ren, and we get to see Harper, and like we get to see all of these people that were introduced to us in A Curse So Dark and Lonely. But a lot of the characters in the series are really but I will read the last book because I love Bridget Kemmerer so much. All of her fantasy series, I eat them up every time. This one's pissing me off. Now we'll get to the why. Now we'll get to the why the fuck it pissed me off. Okay, so this is spoilers. Okay, spoilers. I will put up a timestamp of when you can come back. Okay, although you can skip to if you don't want to listen to spoilers. So in the first book, you're introduced to Callan and Jax. And Callan and Jax are both about to lose their respective businesses. Jax's is a blacksmith, Callan's is a bakery, because they're both either Callan's not getting enough business to pay for it, and Jax's dad keeps taking all of their money to go spend it on gambling. So when an opportunity presents itself for Jax to make enough money for both of them by just holding a few letters, he takes it, demanding double so that he can give some to Callan as well, and they'll be able to pay off their debts sooner. Which is so fucking nice. Cool. Then Jack starts to get close with Tycho. Tycho is the king's courier. He takes messages from one kingdom to the other that's could hold sensitive information. Wonderful. He starts getting close. Jax and Tycho start to get close together, and then they're so cute. But Jax is teaching Tycho how to use a blacksmith, how to make do all of the blacksmithy stuff, the flirting, and it's so cute. And then I'm not even gonna dignify with trying to look up this man's name. We'll call him Dipshit. Seems fitting. Dip for short. And then Dipshit walks in and finds Tycho and Jax talking, and Dip thinks that Jax has told Tycho everything about him holding letters and everything. He hasn't. So then Dip and Tycho get in a fight. And then Dip stops bringing bringing the letters to Jax. Instead, he goes to Callan and tells Callan that she can't tell Jax that she's now got the letters and that she's the one that's now doing it, and she can't talk to Jax in general because he doesn't know what he's told Tycho. Cool. That's really fucking irritating. And then, but what pisses me off is Callan doesn't sit here and defend Jax because Dip is sitting here and he's demanding all this money and he's just being greedy. He doesn't even pipe up and go, actually, the reason why he's getting all that money is so that we can both pay off, is so that we can both go halves. He's doing it for me. No, doesn't defend her friend. Really bad best friend. Cool. By the end of the book, after she's been manipulated multiple times, slept with this man, all the things. Last bit of the book, the queen gets kidnapped, and they get held in Callan's barn, and Callan realizes. Back up a little bit. The whole thing, and then Dip tells Callan about how he doesn't trust the king and he wants to rescue the queen from her husband, where she's in a loving relationship. Make that make sense. He wants to rescue the queen. She's where she wants to be. It's not an abusive relationship or anything. It's not a bad relationship. It's at the start of the book. A whole bunch of people raided the castle, and Grey, to protect his family, because they were already walking into their daughter's room, the people that had stormed the castle had already gotten to their daughter's room. In order to protect his family, he used his magic to stop everyone and kill a lot of people, which sucks, sure, but maybe we shouldn't have stormed the fucking castle and tried to kidnap a princess. Anyway, now all Callan has going for his war with me because her dad died in that raid, and blames the king for protecting his family. Right, that makes sense. Cool. At the end of the book, Callan realizes that Dip has actually been manipulating her the entire book, and she doesn't know anything. So, she tells him to go fuck himself, and ends up joining the queen in the kingdom. Cool. You'd think she'd have kept that knowledge in her brain and stayed the hell away from Dip, okay? No. Of course not. She then proceeds. We get 3 chapters into Callan's POV before she sees Dip again, because he's no longer being held in prison for treason, because they have no proof. Callan ends up getting into the ear of the queen, because the queen doesn't have a lot of friends. I love Leah Mara so dearly. Ends up getting into the ear of the queen and becoming sort of like the queen's consultant, like, or I don't even know what the fuck the word is, but the queen that the person turns to when she needs to like talk to someone. And with all of like the problems that she's having with her marriage and everything, she's looking for outside information. Callan, the queen asked Callan if she can trust Dip because he's a royal family. And Callan was like, well, like, blah, blah, blah. Basically, gives her, like, I mean, yeah, you can. There's nothing wrong with it. Whatever. Like, no, don't do that. Whatever. She ends up working with Dip to help the queen and convincing the queen that Dip isn't bad. Every single chapter. He's already manipulated her in the last book, and now she's letting her be manipulated all the fuck over again. Okay? It pissed me off. Okay? It's very vague. I'm sure I didn't go into too much detail, but it pissed me the fuck off. Okay? Cool. So glad we had this talk onto our regularly scheduled shit. Next book I read was The Enemy's Daughter by Melissa Poet. Now, I thought this was going to give Romeo and Juliet vibes. Turns out there's actually like an original like story of Tristan. Turns out it's actually like the original story is Tristan and Isolde. I'm not sure how you say her name, but it's a retelling. And basically the point of like that is Tristan and Isolde are from like opposing families, like Romeo and Juliet, but they have a love potion put on them, and they end up having to figure out how. I'm not sure. I didn't do too much research into it, but in The Enemy's Daughter, Isadora and Tristan are the love interests, and Isadora ends up going out to help at the front lines because they're in war, to help at the front lines and because she's a mender, but gets lost on the way there and sees a dead body on the floor, like on the ground. So she goes to see if she can do anything for it. Can't do anything for it. He's like gone past. And so she starts wondering because she thinks she heard something. To sneak up on someone, only for it to be someone from the opposing kingdom, and then hold him at knife point, tie him up, and then she's still deciding what the hell she's doing. But they don't get very far before it's pitch black and they have to camp out for the night. The next morning, Tristan's guards all come looking for him and they find him with Isadora, all tied up. So they shoot Isadora with a poison arrow, and Tristan undoes his. After Tristan is sitting there yelling at them not to shoot her, Tristan undoes his like wraps because he could have gotten out of them the whole time, which is hot as fuck, by the way. Starts like commanding everyone to like get her to safety and everything, because in their kingdom they have a this thing called a connection, and it's only for like the founding 12 families, like the big 12 or big 6 families, and Tristan is one of them. And it's a magic where once you're married you connect and the other person can take away your pain, like take away your pain completely or take away some of it. And so that's what he does. They get married while she's like in and out of consciousness because she's dying of poisoning. They get married, and then he takes away the poisoning, and then she ends up taking some of it back, so they both live. And then the whole book is Isadora realizing that she actually does have feelings for him and that he does actually have feelings for her. He already knew that he had feelings for her, but her realizing he has feelings for her. It's actually so cute. I rated it. What did I rate it? 4.5 stars. 4.5. I actually ate this shit up. And to think, I just randomly picked it up at Dimmings and then listened to it as an audiobook, but just randomly picked it up at Dimmings. And then I read Your Only Fan, which follows Irina and Henry. Irina is from Romania, but she doesn't want to go back to her home country. But she's on a visa because she was going to uni in Australia. So in order for her to not go to Australia, to back to Romania, she decides she's just gonna stay in Australia illegally. She ends up meeting Henry because she became a creator on his app, and he has like a yacht party for 3 million subscribers on the app. She meets him and he discovers what's going on and everything, and a couple of days later comes to her with a solution of they should get married, so then she would be able to stay. So they get married. It's a marriage of convenience and close proximity, because obviously once you're married you have to live together. So they end up close proximity. They end up realizing that they've both caught feelings for each other. They just weren't sure if the other one reciprocated the feelings. They end up together, and then a whole bunch of shit hits the fan involving like Irina's family from Romania. And I rate it 4.25 stars. I actually ate this up. Like gobbled it up. And then the last book, I actually do own this one, but I just can't be fucked grabbing it, because if you look over here, I read A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. Now, A Photo Finish follows Violet Eden. Yes, she is the sister of Cade and Rhett and Bo and Cole. I can't remember what his last name is. Violet is a jockey at Cole's family's ranch. They were actually online anonymous friends, which was so unexpected. And Cole is also a war vet. I rated it 4.75. I rated 4.75. It's kind of like rekindling a friendship, and they have to live together because Violet gets injured when competing in a race, and so she can't walk upstairs for a month or ride a horse for a month. So she ends up moving into the place that Cole is staying in, because it's the only place on the ranch that's got a bedroom and a bathroom on the same floor. To have those kinds of problems would be my life choice. Thank you. And yeah, I feel like I didn't go into this as much detail as I should. I'm so sorry. But this needs to be uploaded today, which means I need to edit it today. And I'm thinking I don't think I have as much to edit as I originally did. So anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. I really truly appreciate it. Please comment, like, subscribe. If you have any questions about these books, please feel free to leave me a comment and I will get back to you with details. I swear.